Hi all, welcome to my channel. If you or someone you care about is struggling with sky-high cholesterol, I really hope you stick around. What I'm about to share might completely change the way you think about this condition. This isn't just numbers on a lab test, this is my life. And after 13 years of battling with the numbers that didn't make sense, medication that didn't work, and doctors who couldn't explain why, I finally found the breakthrough. And no, it wasn't a statin or any other drug. It was something simple. Let me take you back to the beginning. I was 32 years old, fit and active, went in for a routine checkup. Wasn't expecting anything major, but then my doctor looked at my labs and paused. Mr. Jonas, he said, your total cholesterol is just over 10 millimoles per liter, he said. That's around 380 milligrams per deciliter. For those in USA, high, he said, very high. At first, I wasn't too concerned. Okay, I thought, this is manageable. There is a fix, right? So I followed advice. Started taking statins, the most common medication for the high cholesterol treatment. I stayed consistent. Took the pills, didn't miss the dose. But a month went by and nothing changed, My LDL was still off the charts. My doctor tried stronger doses, then different brands, but it was like my body just wasn't listening. I remember sitting in a clinic, holding another lab report with no change, just feeling defeated. So I said, alright, time to do something, No more junk food, no sugars, no late snacking. I cleaned up everything. I went full health mode, Mediterranean diet, lean proteins, plenty of fiber. I even cut back on carbs, which I was a big fan of. Because I love bread and pasta. I hit the gym 4 times a week. I was weight training, cardio, you name it. And you know what? I felt amazing. I dropped around 15 pounds, my body composition changed, had more energy than ever. But my cholesterol still was going up. At this point, my GP was stumped. He referred me to a cardiologist, who switched me to a stronger statin. Still, no response. Then I was referred to a lipid clinic in West London. They started blaming genetics. Familial hypercholesterolemia, a condition where your body naturally makes way too much cholesterol. I had the genetic test done, which came back negative. Didn't make any sense. At that time, my numbers were worse than ever. My total cholesterol was around 18 millimoles per liter. That's around 700 milligrams per deciliter. A number you usually only see in medical journals. I became obsessed. I started reading papers, books, following lipid experts, testing new diets. I tried keto, I tried carnivore, I added carbs back into my diet. I measured everything. I measured macros, my sleep, my workouts. Doctors prescribed me even more drugs like bempedoic acid and ezetimibe. Even the latest generation of statins went into the mix. And still, my cholesterol didn't move. Eventually I was sent for a more advanced genetic test. This one was done in Amsterdam. A month later the results came in positive. Apparently I had 2 rare heterozygous variants linked to elevated LDLs. Not just a little high. That's when my total cholesterol hit. Listen to this number. 23.4 megamoles per liter. For those in USA, 900 milligrams per deciliter. That number scared me, At this point, I asked for coronary CT scan. If my cholesterol had been this high for over a decade, I was wondering about my condition on my arteries. Scan was done, and guess what? The results, 0. No calcium buildup, no visible plaque, no signs of damage. It didn't make sense to doctors, but you know what? It gave me some hope. Still, the doctors pushed forward. They said, listen, let's try PCSK9 inhibitors. They work for almost everyone. It's a rocket fuel. These are injections. Twice a month, it will cut LDL in half, I was told. I was all in. Gave it 3 months. Nothing. No improvement in LDL department. The last option I was left with, lipidopheresis, a machine that filters your blood every 2 weeks. And that's for life, you know. I was devastated. I was thinking, I'm eating clean, I'm training like an athlete, I'm sleeping better than ever, my cardiovascular age, according to my Aura app and metabolic scan, 11 years younger than my actual age. And yet, I was being told my only option was to hook up to this blood filter twice a month for the rest of my life. Something didn't sit right, you know. Then I remembered a supplement I'd read about years ago. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3. It wasn't mainstream anymore. Some doctors said it wasn't worth it. I was wondered of the side effects, but I was out of options, you know. I thought, why not to try? I started with a small dose, 500 milligrams. Not much happened. But then I did something different. I studied the clinical protocol used back in the day when niacin was an optional treatment for cholesterol. I increased the dose to recommended with the full awareness of the flushing effect and other side effects. After 1 month, my total cholesterol dropped from 18.1 to 13.4 megamoles per liter. That's 700 to 520 milligrams per deciliter. That's within 30 days. Even my doctor was shocked. Another 30 days later, down to 8.6 megamoles per liter or 330 milligrams per deciliter. Can you believe this? I couldn't. I even asked my wonderful wife if she's seeing the same results I'm seeing. This was the first time in 13 years that something worked, you know? Not a pharmaceutical drug, just a vitamin. Right now, I'm experimenting with the lower maintenance dose and keeping a close eye on my blood work. But this has changed everything. After years of feeling like my body was broken, this gave me some hope. And I'm definitely not giving a medical advice here. I'm just sharing what worked for me in case it sparks an idea or conversation with your doctor. So if you're struggling, please don't give up. Find a good doctor who's willing to think outside the box. Keep researching. Keep looking into alternative methods. Sometimes the answer isn't a brand new drug, you know. It's something we forgot to look at. If you found this helpful, please hit the like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need a little hope today. And if you want a follow-up video, what I share, the exact niacin brand and dosage I used, how I managed the side effects, and what my latest blood tests show, drop a comment below. I will read every single one. Stay curious, stay strong, stay fit and healthy, and most of all, stay hopeful. Have a good life.